afternoon. Let me bring in right now another Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Illinois is a member, of course, of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here.
So you had said you wanted to see Jeff Sessions testify in a public setting. What's the big question for him?
You know, I think we need to talk about the Russia meetings, the meetings with the ambassadors. I can tell you I meet with a lot of ambassadors as a foreign affairs member. Sometimes I don't remember who all I've met with. Those are questions that need to be answered. What exactly does he know about the discussions between Comey and President Trump? Basically, my big concern is the American people they really want answers. Right now, you have people that are stuck in a way of saying any time new information comes out, let's assume it's all fake news, and there are some that immediately yell impeachment. And I don't think we fix this whole conversation until we just know everything. So I just want more information about everything to come out, and I hope this can shed some light on the questions that the American people have.
What does it mean for the special prosecutor's investigation? So many of these, I mean, James Comey testifying in public and now Jeff Sessions testifying in public. It doesn't get in the way of it, obviously, because he would have probably told James Comey not to.
Yeah.
Do you think it impacts this?
I don't think it does. I think there's so much hunger for information right now in the public that people are basically destroying themselves. There's so much fighting because everybody's come to their preconceived conclusions of whether President Trump's innocent or guilty and anybody else. And so I think the more information to come out, the better. Congress and the Senate has a role to play in terms of determining this. But as long as it doesn't affect Director Mueller's investigation, that's the most important thing, because I think I don't care about 2018, I don't care about 2020 in this context. We have to defend the institution of government, and we need to know that all avenues of information were explored.
Let me ask you about the special prosecutor. We are seeing some Republican allies of the president come out and start to forget targeting James Comey, targeting Bob Mueller. Newt Gingrich is one of them, and I read the tweet earlier, but saying the Republicans are delusional if they think the special counsel is going to be fair. This, of course, Newt Gingrich actually applauded the appointment of Bob Mueller earlier, but he thinks it's time to rethink. Newt's not the only one. Do you think, Congressman, there's a problem of conflict of interest because of the long relationship that there is between Bob Mueller and James Comey?
No, I think this idea that James Comey and Bob Mueller are going to get together and come up with a conspiracy to take down somebody or the president or whoever is frankly a bridge way too far. They could know it. In this business, we all know each other. There's a lot of people that know Jim Comey and that know Bob Mueller. It's just that government's a small business, so they're going to know each other. But from everything I understand about Director Mueller, this is a guy that wants honest answers. And so we need to get those honest answers. I think to poison the well, whether it's Speaker Gingrich or anybody else, and say it's time to move past a special prosecutor, it's never going to be fair. My whole thing is I want, when this is all said and done, for people to say, I may agree or disagree with the conclusion, but we know everything was figured out.
One of the president's attorneys also didn't rule out the possibility of the president firing Bob Mueller. What would you say if that happened?
Well, I don't expect that to happen. I didn't even actually know the president could fire. I think that shouldn't happen, obviously. Let's let this develop itself. Let's get some answers here. I think it would be very ill-advised for the president to do it. I actually don't expect that he would. But I think his allies need to quit trying to poison the well because, yeah, it may get him on TV, say something, but at the same time, this is about the institution of democracy and defending it. That's what I'm concerned with.
Total different topic, but because of your service to this country, I did want to ask you and get your reaction to the green on blue attack in Afghanistan. 3 U.S. soldiers killed, another wounded. The vice president offered condolences over the weekend, but this comes at a very important time, a very important decision-making for this White House. What more do you want to hear from the president after this attack?
Well, I think the president needs to make the case that this is a generational fight. People hate to say it, right? We like to come out and say, hey, here's our plan to win in a year. The fact is, when you're fighting radicalism, you're fighting generational change, and it has to be like the Cold War took 50 years for the next generation to reject communism. That's what's going to happen in this fight, and it's going to be a long time coming. But the alternative, us leaving Afghanistan being like it was pre-9/11, means the old saying, you may not be interested in war, but war's interested in you.
But, Congressman, would 5,000 more troops in Afghanistan have stopped this?
I don't know. No, actually, it won't stop a green on blue. These are sad situations. I was in Afghanistan when the big one where I think 11 people were killed happened. We are having far less green on blues than we've had in the past. There was a point when we'd get a lot. But it's going to happen. You can't stop somebody from intending to do harm until they show the first step of those intention. You can't screen what's in somebody's heart. So sadly, this may happen again at some point. But actually, it's been pretty amazing how few there have been in comparison to how they have been in the past.
Thanks for being here. It's
Anytime.
great to see you. Thank you so much.